Excited to congratulate so many of you who are now up 22% since last week, because we nailed some bottoms in our buy list and sell list. And if you're not in our premium list and you did not get the info but you would like the info, our premium list is strategysprints.com/JVC, and JVC stands for the Joint Venture Club, where we help each other grow our businesses, and we do this by improving each other's revenue systems and investment systems. We coach each other. We have the best expert globally once a month with us, and every second week we coach each other, and 24/7 we have a Slack group together where we improve each other's revenue systems. I'm in there. I coach you personally. The Sprinters team is there, so it's a pretty cool community. And this community last week crushed it, up 22%, because they went into our buying list. And so last week was a great shopping week. And we nailed some entry points very well. Congrats, everybody. I'm getting your messages and I'm super proud. Still, let's not become too proud and too complacent, because this year we need a much tighter strategy. And so in our premium list, you know it already. For everybody who is not in the JVC, let me share with you what is the strategy 2022. So we are continuing to have our top 10 crypto and top 10 stocks, but we will be much more quick in selling tops. We will not always nail the top, but we don't need to. It's okay if we just hit it 30 to 35% of the time if we nail it, and that's kind of realistic. We're getting better and better every year here together, and so we're getting better at analyzing, we're getting better at understanding where things are going. Our thesis get more precise and validated over time, and we are also quicker in invalidating the wrong thesis and moving, pivoting and moving from there. So let's look at the markets and let's look at the shopping list, which I'm going to share now 1 week later also with the public. So Nasdaq is recovering, general market recovering, SoFi up, and that was one of our lists winner. We went in at 10 last week, are now at 11.89. Congrats, everybody. Definitely an undervalued stock right there with a lot of growth potential. Still on the speculative side, right? We have the speculative growth stocks, but we also added some more defensive energy stocks and defensive plays that we want to have now with this year, which is much more in a segment rotation than last year, where we just had everything tech going up. So we have added EA, and it's doing really well. It's more of a defensive play. Our top three of this year are the same top three as last year. It's Google, Tesla, Amazon. And Google has, of course, validated all our hypotheses. Tesla is swinging exactly as we saw it, between 850 and 1,200. Now we will swing between 850 and 1,400 moving forwards. And this is exactly the change to last year. Last year we would just buy Tesla and only sell half when it doubles. This year we will be much more active. We will swing trade in and out of Tesla, in at around 850, 870, 890, out at 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, and then in again at 870, 890, 900. We will do more of a swing trade thing, which we didn't do last year, but this year we need to do it because it's much harder of a year. It's a more choppy year. Amazon is doing really, really well. Congrats to all of you who hold it over the full last year. I've been accumulating Amazon over the last 3 years and it wasn't moving at all. We will see movement this year. To me, Amazon is a 5,000 stock that was hovering around 3,000 so long. So it's time for Amazon, and it will happen between now and the next 3 years. So then Shopify, we have added Shopify to our list because it just came into our buying zone, and I'm happy that we have it because it's also a hedge against Amazon. So if you believe in the Amazon thesis, you have to believe in the Shopify thesis, and having a second bet. Solana, congrats to all of you. We layered in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s. And to me, Solana became one of the hold stocks. So last year, Solana was one of the swing trades. This year, to me, Solana is one of the hold stocks. Why? Since last week, Solana is now on Celsius, which means, you remember, some parts of our portfolio are things that you hold forever. Real estate, Bitcoin. If you are into gold, gold is the same thing. I'm not, but there are many reasons to be in gold. It's holding its value. It's not increasing its value, so it's below inflation. That's why I don't like it. I like to have things that keep their purchasing power. But having said that, the hard assets to hold are still real estate, Bitcoin, gold, if you are into that. And then that's it. But this year, I personally add to my list, I add Solana, because now that Solana is on Celsius, you can use it as a collateral, you can borrow against it and use it as a collateral. So you don't have to sell it. It's like real estate. You don't have to sell it. You can use it as a collateral. So you keep the hard assets and you sell the weak assets. You swing trade in and out of the weak assets, but you always hold the strong assets. If you hold a house in a good city, in a good part of the city that is appreciating in time, why would you ever sell it? You can work with it. You keep it, and you let it work for you for the next 500 years. You give it to your kids. That's how you build wealth over time. So congrats, Solana, on entering our hold portfolio. And yes, if some of you are thinking about gold, I think I'm not into it because I want only things that do 3x ideally. And in the keep category, they have to do at least 15%. Gold for me is not in the 15% category, so I'm out. But there are many reasons. If some of you want to have 1% or even 2% of their portfolios in gold, there are many reasons to do so. It's a bit complicated because you have to find out physical gold or not, and where, and how to access it. So I'm out, but there are many gold experts out there that you can ask. Then we have Luna. I'd love to buy more Luna in the low 50s and in the high 40s if it gets back there. But I've loaded up Luna a lot, and there is a high risk. So we have to watch Luna. I will sell half of my Luna when it doubles. That's around 78 for me. So as soon as it hits 78, I will sell 50% and keep the others. I believe in Luna. It's been growing fast, but it's also very risky because the SEC is charging. And now the team knows that and has a plan, but still there is a high risk there. Phantom is different. Phantom is for me a lower risk. Phantom might be the next Solana. So I can see in 3 years Phantom be the strongest competitor to Solana, eating market shares of Solana, like this year Solana was eating the market shares of Ethereum. It's a long bet, but that's my bet. Nvidia have been buying more. Apple's doing really well. It's not on my list, on my personal portfolio, but it's a very good, I would say, cash repository if you want it. Do not expect high growth, but it will keep its value. So that might be actually a gold play. If I had a gold play, that would be Apple. Then I've also entered more banking and energy because there is this rotation. So I went into Sberbank and I went into UBS. And then I converted all the Sberbank into UBS because of geopolitical risk. I prefer my risk to be in Switzerland than in Russia right now for geopolitical obvious reasons. Then Avalanche is doing really, really well. I'm long Avalanche, and I think Avalanche is one of the ones that will be around in 3 years, even if it's not exciting and it's not hyped and there is not a huge sentiment around it. But yeah, I'm long Avalanche, and I'm a validator, or something like that. ETH, which just means that I've committed to hold it long term, and I provide liquidity to the network. ETH is recovering. Matic might be something that you want to add to your list. It's not on my list, but I think it's one of the strongest. Might even be in my top 10. It's not right now, but it's kind of number 11 on the crypto list. Then we have a ton of energy plays. The strongest this week has been, like most weeks, Canadian Natural Resources. These guys are crushing it. Then a friend of mine told me about Movi, which is a great limited supply salmon play, and they are in Northern Europe and they do organic salmon production, and there is just much more demand than there is supply, which is for me the same play as Bitcoin or as gold. It just has to go up at some point, so why not? And then I'm still holding Engine, but I have a big question mark around it. So my two metaverse plays, Engine and Render, I have quite a question mark on them. I would not suggest you go in there. On the other side, our Galaxy Digital has been doing really, really well. We went in, so it's now at 1351, and most of you went in at 12. When I shared this last week, you went in at 12, and now we are at, where is it? And now we are at 1351. Congrats, everybody. Galaxy Digital. And then we have Curve, which might exit my top 10 list this year. It's one of the candidates, together also with Chainlink. And yeah, the rest is really in the making. Square, PayPal recovering, Coinbase recovering. If you don't hold them, that might be a speculative play. CleanSpark, Hut, CRISPR are underwater for me, but I hold them until they get back. And then if you want very defensive positions, you might go into indexes like the utility index, the industrial index, or the metal index, or the energy index, if you want more defensive plays. People looking at gold are looking at digital gold in this example, but there are also many others. And what I'm always watching is the volatility and the dollar strength, because this is what tells you the macro situation. Been talking too much. We are already at 13 minutes. So if you want to get live infos on what I'm buying, what I'm selling, and not hear it 1 week later, like people who are not members of our premium list, join the JVC. It's strategysprints.com/JVC. This is where we help each other growing our revenue systems, coaching each other on improving our revenue systems, having multiple passive income streams, repeatable, reliable income streams. Plus, what do we do with those profits? We also coach each other on improving our investment systems. And so you can enter strategysprints.com/JVC anytime and get to work even closer with me and with our team. Hope that helps. Keep rolling, everybody.